according to my culture, according to my upbringing, according to my understanding. I cannot come to your house and teach your child. So if he had gone to their house to report it to the parents, the onus is on the parents to sit their own kids down and tell them the bitter truth of life. I don't want my child to grow up and become a societal menace.
But what you're highlighting is something really important.
I won't keep quiet. I will follow it up because you have done the right to report, whether they are kids or not. Look at the society today. These are the kids that will grow up. By the time they become 18, they become a nuisance. They become antisocial menace out there, giving us problems. So how do we stop this behavior? Because they are kids, but something we should keep quiet and allow them to be doing it. They are kids.
So we've got two things here, but it's a really important thing. So we've got, on the one hand, what we say called antisocial behavior, which does not have to be a hate crime. Sometimes, however, it can be a bit connected. So I give you an example. We've had an incident where there was antisocial behavior, but they chose in the antisocial behavior to use racist language. The problem wasn't that in that case, the individuals that were committing the racist graffiti, they weren't necessarily racist. However, they chose a racist language to make their voices heard. And it's a tricky one. I guess it still has to be locked as a racist incident.
And it can lead to hate crime.
It can lead to hate crime.
That's true.
But at the same time, this does not diminish our effort. So, we have got a lot of problems around drugs, a lot of problems of antisocial behavior, and then hate crime is yet another problem in society. So sometimes the antisocial behavior can be. So one friend of mine, she reported an incident which was seen as antisocial behavior, but I give you a description. So her car was egged, the door was banged, and whenever the husband came out, he is an Arab, they called him by Osama bin Laden, so referring him as a terrorist. Now this was antisocial behavior, the police locked it. When I heard it, I said, shh, you should have locked this as racist or as Islamophobic, because there was a difference, there was a clear thing, the connotation was different. Did the children know what they were doing? I'm not sure. Did the parents ever, because they talked to the parents, did the parents let it happen? Yes, they did. So the problem was that the parents maybe had some prejudice and they were quite happy for the children to do these things.
Exactly.
So this can happen, but it's not. No, but it's important what you say. It's not always so. So we have to differentiate, and I think it is very. This is a really tough one. When we say we report hate crime, I would. It is a difficult one, and we can talk about this as a discussion. It is a fine line between reporting a hate crime and hate incidents and developing the danger of developing a victimhood mentality. And don't get me wrong, because it's a very fine line, and it's not for me to judge, but what I've seen is a victimhood mentality, you can see everything through the certain lens, and there's a danger in that as well. But that's why I think when we talk about hate crime, we say it's in the judgment of the people that are affected by the hate crime, whether it's the victims or the people that are bystanders. Let me ask you a question. So whether how you perceive it. So, but there is a danger of victimhood mentality. I think it is dangerous because I tell you why it's dangerous. I give you an example of what it can lead to. A victimhood mentality, in the worst case, can lead someone to become aggressive themselves. They can become the perpetrator.
Unknowingly.
We deal with extremism. They become extreme because they feel they're a victim. And that's why having a victimhood mentality is not being a victim. It is something different. It is something that is where something has gone too wrong, where you think everything else in society is the problem, but you are not. And that is a dangerous path. And we want people to report, but sometimes what you can get is people don't report, they don't say anything, but they feel victim. And then, in the worst case, it may lead to someone taking action. So you interview any person who has been a terrorist, let's say, I assure you, each single extremist or terrorist will have a victimhood mentality, because they will say, We are the victims, and we have to change that. We're not going through the law. We're going to use whatever force we can use. And that's the danger. And in order to avoid the victimhood mentality, that's why we try to report. That's why we need to make sure people feel reassured that they have something to go to and report to, confide to, whatever that structure is. It may be that if you feel you're not sure whether something is worthwhile reporting, maybe you go to your hate crime reporting ambassador and say, look, this has happened, what do you think I should do? And then they say, we've been trained, I'm going to report this, I'm going to fill in the form, and they might say, what help do you need? Are you okay? We know sometimes victims, just someone being there, someone saying after an incident. So because you can't always get involved, because it's dangerous for yourself. Sometimes you might say, all I can do is try to get attention. Maybe hopefully they leave. The moment the victim is alone, how nice is it when you've been attacked, which is bad enough, but then at least afterwards someone comes to you and says, come on, I'm going to give you a lift home, we're going to report this to the police, I've made a note of things, I'm sorry I couldn't help you because there were 10, I didn't know what to do, I was scared myself, but we're going to help you. Or, I mean, someone phones the police. But so there's several ways one can help when you're not yourself the victim. You can report it. Of course, you may decide, it's not for me to decide how much you intervene in an incident. But I'm saying that even if you cannot physically intervene because there are legitimate safety reasons for it, afterwards you can still be of help. So there is many stages of where we say an active bystander, many things that you can do. Yeah.
I think intent is a very, very important thing. I think it was 2 weeks ago, my son told me that a girl at school called him Paki. And I just started laughing. And he's wondering, why are you laughing? I said, number one, Paki is a word used to refer to Pakistani people. You're not Pakistani, you're Nigerian. So that shouldn't offend you.
Yes.
That is one. Only two, come to think about it, you're not white, for goodness sake. You're black. She's got a problem because I need to let my son understand. In life, you're going to come across crazy people.
Yeah.
You do not personally, you do not react to what everybody says or what everybody does. Come to think about it, we have Nigerians that say crazy things to us, and we're both Nigerians. So do you react to that? So intent for me is when a child, maybe I'm a bit biased when it comes to children, when children do some things, their intent is more important, looking at their intent.
Yes.
Unfortunately, in his case, I'll still refer to it. Personally, I see that more as antisocial.
Yeah.
The kids have not been brought up properly. So in cases like that, unfortunately, the police won't do anything.
Yeah.
They won't, the only thing is they'll log it in and that's it. They're not going to go to the parents because most times that child has got problems at school already.
Yes.
They've got issues with the councils. Please, they can't be
My
bothered.
question is this, then who deals with such cases? If police cannot deal with it,
You deal with your children.
I've dealt with my children, I give them discipline, they know their boundary, they know how to behave outside. But I cannot put myself or my children to be victims in the hands of mannerless children.
Unfortunately, I am sorry to say this is, at the end of the day, it is your kids you have to face. Because you cannot deal with everybody's children.
I
Now,
understand.
the way
Then
I
who deals
handle-
with them? So
Sis.
does it mean because I am who I am, my children are who they are, they should continue to be victims in the hands of silly children?
I'm very sorry to say, whether you accept it or not, we live in a society where there are kids that are off the rail. You cannot help it.
Okay, I agree with you. I want to response from you. In that such a situation, what happens? Should our children continue to be victims in the hands of mannerless children out there?
The first thing is that you're right that it can be reported, and then there are several things what we normally would do is I have to say within the limited resources that we have, that's part of the problem. So we still, before the council, I was working for charities. So the obvious answer is that those children that are behaving this way, someone needs to do some work with them and the parents. So there are social services, we have got a youth service in Rochdale that you can send in.
In my present, immediately I left, even before I left, the woman called Peter. If you see the way this boy behaved
His mom.
to his mom, I said no.
That you don't get what I'm trying to say here. We cannot close our eyes because they are what they are. These children, I'm not talking of now. What is the future of that boy?
Yeah, that kind of boy.
Peter in 5 years' time? Has he got a future? It's going to boil down to you and I. This, may God forbid bad thing. These are the kinds of people, kids that will grow up and become
Something
Or
else.
something else. Yeah.
So what becomes of us?
Unfortunately,
I'm not talking of now.
you see, the
Yes.
Something
society
needs to be done.
is like I'm telling my son every single day. The society that we are in has made it limited for us to do lots of stuff. There are things we can't help. You need to adjust to it. Let your kids know. You tell them, just as what you have said. I run an open door policy. When I see a child that does, I'll tell you, you see that child, give him 5 years. Either he's in prison, either he's locked up, or he's
And that is what I think the essence of this gathering is what we want to do. We want some kind of solution into. We don't want, these are the young kids that we think that they are the future of any society we find ourselves. We cannot close our eyes and for them to waste away, waste their destiny, waste their future. Just like that. Yes, yeah.
I think
Something needs to be done, honestly.
no, but
Something needs to be done.
On time.
It will affect our kids as well.
In future.
Yeah, that's why they ask us to report it.
Knifers that start themselves. Where do you think they grow up from?
okay, so these are really valid points. But the truth is that a lot of it now rests with what you do within. So I'll give you some solutions. What some communities do. They set up a neighborhood watch scheme. They participate in their local area forums. So in Rochdale, we've got local area forums where the police will turn up, local residents will turn up, and they will feedback what are the issues. They meet their local councillors,
Yeah.
and these are. So I think it's not really the answer you want to hear because there's no magic. So you're right what you're trying to say, and I'm trying to offer some more solutions. But
console her.
but you engage your councils. You try to make until you've got. I mean, for instance, I give you an example. During Ramadan, we've had a lot of antisocial behavior in the past because for some reason young people felt that in the late prayer time, it's a great time to do whatever else but pray. And I find this so ironic because it's a month of fasting and prayer, and we have people in the streets. So what we ended up doing was, with the police and the local community, we ended up setting up a watch scheme where volunteers would just monitor what was going on and getting them basically saying, if you're not at mosque, then you go home. You don't have to roam the streets in the middle of the night. And so that particular incident has helped. So it has to, last Ramadan it had a huge impact because we just got local residents together, we got the police together, the youth services together, and it really made a big impact. And so this type of initiative, if you have a neighborhood, I would say you have to try to emulate something similar. You say, I'm not standing for this has to stop. I'm going to contact my councillor, I'm going to contact the local police, I'm going to